This shows an example of a phishing email. So it's coming in from 1&1 here, and it's actually saying that someone's account has been disabled because there's been 3 failed login attempts. So if you have a 1&1 account, this is going to worry you. You might click here, but hopefully what you'll see when you roll your cursor over the link is that that's plan2print.com. It's not really 1&1 here. The other thing to note here is that this looks as if it's coming from 1&1.com, but that doesn't exist as a domain name because 1&1 is actually spelt such as this. That's 1&1, and 1&1, and is a reserved character that shouldn't really appear in a URL. 1&1.com doesn't exist. So if you reply back to the email, you probably find that it doesn't actually go anywhere. So let's click on here, and there isn't a tracker on this, so it's probably okay to click on it. And then what you see is a completely mocked up site. Fonts look slightly different. It's not quite working as it should, but you can see there, if you look at the bottom, then it's going to 1&1.co.uk, so all of these sites, of these links actually will work perfectly. So if we try that one, so that goes to the proper 1&1 site. You actually see that they haven't got the font quite right there. There's something not quite right. And here we see the 1&1 certificate that's trusted, signed by GeoTrust there. But for the site that we had before, then it was going to this site here. If we look at this site, we'll find that there isn't really much of a presence there. It's just been registered as a domain and then set up with this spearphishing site. Okay, so looks a bit suspicious there. All the graphics are coming in from the correct place. But obviously if we put our details in here for our 1&1, there's a very good chance that we won't actually that we'll lose our login credentials. Okay, so even the forgotten password has gone to the correct site. When we look in more detail at the source, try and find the form tag, you'll see that the action goes to a /search, which will submit the details to, and that's on this site here for the search and not onto 1&1. Okay, so what we should find is that we'll just put in some dummy data here. Let's see what happens to it. And looks like very little is happening there. Okay, so you see the trick that they have here. They have now taken us to the correct site, the 1&1. So the user might think that they've not put the right details in, so they'll go and enter it there, but by this time they've actually lost their credentials. Okay, so that shows some of the tricks that a spearphisher might use.